In this lecture, we will be developing a real-time OLX app on which a person can create his profile and put his own advertisement of various things he want to sell. Okay, so first of all, we will be creating, four different profiles, and then we will be posting, ads on this platform. So let's create the first profile on this first device, or you can say first browser. So this is a second screen the user is going to come across. Now here he need to mention his name and he need to select a profile pic. Now let's hit this login button and see what's gonna happen. So the user is going to get redirected on this screen where he's required to enter his email address, and here he's required to enter his password. Fine. Now let's hit this screen and see what's gonna happen. Okay, so the user profile has got successfully created. Now let's create an advertisement, or else let's do one thing. Let's create four different profiles on four different devices, and after that we will create the advertisements, or you can say ads. Abhinav. Okay, the second profile has also got successfully created. Now let's create the third profile. So the third profile has also got successfully created. Now let's make use of this fourth browser and create the fourth profile. So we are done with creating the fourth profile also. These are the four profiles we have created on this platform OLX. Now let's make use of Gaurav's ID and publish an advertisement, or you can say Hyundai car. Let's put a description over here of the car. So this is a small description that I have defined over here. And now let's hit this next button. So here we are required to upload 3 pics of the product we are selling. So these are the 3 pics which I'm going to make use of. These yellow cars over here. Fine, now let's hit this next button. Here we need to put an amount. Let's put this one. Okay, we need to mention the location. So I'm going to select this one for now. Let's hit this next button and see what's gonna happen. Okay, so the advertisement has got successfully placed on OLX platform. Now let's preview the ad. So here the user can see the ad. The advertisement is going to look like this. So here, with the help of these navigation buttons over here, the user can check out all the pics that he has uploaded for his advertisement on his profile or on this platform. Okay, so this is the description coming over here, and this is the person's email ID. Now let's create another advertisement. Let's make use of Abhinav's ID. Green color car and 30,000, 19. Okay, so now we need to select the green color car, right? Where is that? Let's select this one. Okay, now let's hit this next button, see what's gonna happen. Okay, so here we need to place an amount. Let's make it 60. Okay, now let's hit this next button and see what's gonna happen. Sorry. So the advertisement has got successfully placed. This is the ad placed by Abhinav. Okay, all the pics are getting reflected over here. And here you can see, the address is also getting reflected, the price is also getting reflected over here, and the title is here, and this is the description. Now let's make use of Rishabh's ID and place another ad. So now we need to select the blue color cars. Let's select this one. And these things are very easy to create. If you guys will focus and if you guys will do hard work, you will be able to create such beautiful apps on your own. Okay, now let's check out the app. So the ad is getting reflected over here. All the pics are also getting reflected, see? Fine, and everything, whatever information Rishabh has entered, everything is getting reflected in a very beautiful way. Right, now let's place fourth ad on this platform using Amita's profile. Okay, so now let's select the images from the desktop. It's a real-time application, right now I'm working on this fourth browser. You can consider it, you can assume it as if, I'm working on the fourth device. Okay, the ad has got successfully placed. Now let's check out the ad. This is the ad, and everything is getting reflected over here. All the images are getting reflected, and all the information is also getting reflected over here. Fine. Now, now let's do one thing. Let's make use of Abhinav's ID and search for, the cars. So for that, we need to, write down here in this search bar, cars. We need to write down here because we are looking for cars. Now let's hit the search button. So this is what we are going to come across. Amita has placed this advertisement, right? So it is visible on the device of Abhinav. Now let's hit this next button, see what's gonna happen. So we are able to access all the three images, the one which Amita had uploaded while creating this advertisement. So Abhinav, just a second. Rishabh's profile is also getting reflected, and see all the pictures Rishabh has uploaded. They are also visible to us, right? Now let's do one thing. Let's make use of Rishabh's ID and check out whether we'll be able to access all the advertisements or not. So for that we need to write down cars here, and then we need to search for the cars. So Amita's profile is getting reflected over here, and she uploaded this red color car, and all the pics are also visible to us. Fine. Similarly, if I'll hit this button, so the profile is going to get changed. Now let's see what's gonna happen here. So Abhinav uploaded green color car, so it is also visible to us right now. Fine, all the pics are visible to us, the title, the price, and everything is visible to us. Now suppose if Rishabh is interested in purchasing Amita's car. Just a second. So if suppose Rishabh is interested in purchasing Amita's car, so what he has to do, he need to talk to Amita, right? So for that he need to, where I have defined an option over here for chatting. So he can click on this option, and here on this window he can send a message to Amita. So Rishabh has successfully sent a message to Amita. Let's see whether Amita has received the message or not. So he need to click here. She needs to click here first. She's going to come across the screen, and here she needs to come on her account first. After that she needs to she's required to click on this chats option. So here Rishabh's profile is getting reflected. Now let's hit this receive button, and she has received the message successfully. Fine. Now if she wants to reply, she can make use of this box and type her message here. Let's send the message. So let's now check out whether Rishabh has received, will be able to receive the message or not. So Rishabh has also received the message. Likewise, they can communicate with each other. So this is how this app works. Now let's come on the coding part, how this app have been coded. That's what we are going to check out now. So this is the coding part, and this is the first screen the user is going to see. Now here when the user will hit this go button, okay, he's going to get redirected on screen 2. This is screen 2, and here we have defined a login button. This is where he will upload his profile pic, and this is a component where he is he's required to write down his name. Fine. When he will hit the login button, what is going to happen? This is what is going to happen. So he is going to get redirected on screen 3, and here he is required to enter the email address. The component's name is email, and the next button we have got here, the ID of this one is email next, and this is a code for the same. When the user will hit this email next button, he is going to get redirected on screen 4, where he is required to enter the password for his email ID. Now after entering the password, when he will hit this password save button, this is a code which is going to get executed. So a table with name users is going to get created, in which all these information, photo, name. Let me just show you the whole code. So all the information is going to get saved: photo, name, email ID, password. These things are going to get saved. How this table looks like, it looks somewhat like this: photo, name, email, password. Everything will come here, will get stored here. Fine. Now when the user is done, after the user is done with hitting this password save button, so he's going to get redirected on screen 5. Now it's a GIF image that I've defined over here on this screen. When the user will hit this screen 5, this is what the compiler is going to do. He is going to read out the records from the users table, and he is going to get everything reflected over here. The ID of this one is image7, it is profile name, and it is profile email. So the information for all these 3 components are going to get pulled up from this users table, and everything will be visible to the user here. Now if we want to sell out something, so I've defined a button over here with name sell. So when the user will click on this button, he's going to get redirected on screen 7. This is a screen. Now I've defined different components here. If you want to sell a car, he can sell a car. If you want to sell a mobile, so he need to click on this. So what I have showed you guys, I've showed you guys how a person can sell a car. If you want to code for these options, also you can make the use of this code which we have made use of for selling the cars in this lecture. The same code you can make use of for these categories also. So when the user will hit this cards button, what is going to happen? He is going to get redirected on this titled / description screen, where he is required to enter the title and the description of the product he is selling. Okay, and after that, what is going to happen? The ID of this component is title enter. So when the user will hit this title enter part, he is going to get redirected on screen 9. Where is that? Okay, and here he is required to upload 3 pics of his product. Once he is done with that, the ID of this component is next pic. So he needs to tap on this component, and automatically he is going to get redirected on screen 10. This is the code of this next pics button. Now here he is required to enter the amount, the price of his product, and after this he is required to tap on this price next button. When the user will hit this price next button, automatically he is going to get redirected on this screen 11, and here he is required to enter his address or location. Fine. Now when the user will hit this location next button, this is what is going to happen. Uh, uh, a table with name cars is going to get created, where everything, the photo of the user, the name of the user, the pics he has uploaded for his product, pic 1, pic 2, pic 3, everything is going to get saved in that particular table. Let me just show you the whole code. This is the whole code. Pick 1, pick 2, pick 3, then title of the advertisement, the description of the advertisement, price, the location, everything is going to get saved. Fine. And how the table is going to look like? It will look like somewhat, okay, like this. Fine. So everything is going to get saved like this in the form of a table. Okay, this is the cards table. Now let's come back on the coding part, and when the user will hit this button location next, he is going to get redirected where, on which screen? So as per the code, he is going to get redirected on screen 12. Now let's come on screen 12 and check out what is going to happen. So here the user is going to get, we are going to intimate the user that the ad has been published successfully. So in order to preview his ad, the user can tap on this button, preview, and he is going to get redirected on where, just a second, screen 14 is, no, okay, so I think this code has to be eliminated. He should not get redirected to screen 1. So I'm removing this code from here. Okay, this is the code which I have made use of. So the user is going to get redirected on screen 8, where the information for all these components that you're seeing are going to get fetched up from this cars table. Okay, and this is a condition that I've defined over here, and this is the whole code. The price, the title, email, description, address, everything we are going to pull up from this cards table. Okay, and after that, so this is it. Now if suppose this user want to search for some product, so what he can do, he can tap here on this image 2, anywhere on this image 2, and he's going to get redirected on this. Just a second, let me just show you the code of that image 2. I think this is the code for image 2. Yeah, this is the one. So the user is going to get redirected on screen 13. Fine. This is where the user is going to come across. Now let's go back on that code. Okay, so I think we were now we need to check out the code for this search option. This is the one. So here the user is required to enter the name of the product he is searching. So as the user, as we have defined for now for the cars category, so that is the reason we are going to enter cars here. And when the user will hit this search button, so this is a code which is going to get executed. So from the cars option, from the cars table or from whatever category the user is going to enter here, the information is going to get pulled up, and the user after that is going to get redirected on this screen 14, where through the help of this code everything is going to get visible to him. He will be able to see everything, the advertisement as well as the name and everything of that person who has placed the advertisement. Fine, so this is the code that I have made use of. Image, price 14, title 14, everything will be visible to the user, the description. Fine. And now let's come on this one. So there are two next and previous buttons over here. So when the user will hit this previous 14, what is going to happen? Where is the code for previous 14? This is previous profile, next profile. I want to see the code for previous 14 and next 14. So I think the code is not this one. This is for next 8 actually. Next 8 is on this screen, where the user after publishing his ad is going to see his ad. Next 8 and previous 8. There are two navigation buttons over here. So when the user will hit this next 8 button, so automatically by the help of this code which I have defined over here, he will be able to see the images, okay, which he has uploaded on this portal for his advertisement. If the value of X is equals to 1, so pick 1 will be visible to the user here in this gallery. If the value of X is equals to 2, pick 2 will be visible to the user. If the value of X is equals to 3, pick 3 will be visible to the user. Similarly for previous 8 also I have defined the same kind of code. So if the user will hit this previous 8 button, what is going to happen? If the value of X is equals to 1, he is going to see pick 1. The value of X is going to get decremented by 1 first, and after that with the help of these conditions over here, he will be able to see the relevant picks. Okay. Now let's come on screen 14 again and check out the code for next 14 and previous 14. The way I have defined the code for next 8 and previous 8, in the same way I have defined the code for these two buttons also. This is the code. So when the user will hit this next 14 button, the value of Y is going to get incremented by 1. It is going to get increased by 1, and the records are going to get pulled up from the cars table, and the user will be able to see the images, pick 1, pick 2 and pick 3 in this image 14 button on the basis of the value of Y. Fine. Similarly, if the user will hit the previous 14 button, the value of Y is going to get decremented by 1, and here is the code that is going to get executed when the user will hit this previous button. Fine. Now let's come on this buttons. So if the user will hit this next profile button, this is what is going to happen. The person will be able to see the profiles of all the users who have registered themselves on this platform, and besides accordingly he will be able to see the advertisements also here. Okay, based on the profiles which will be visible to the user here at this location. Fine, so this is the code that I've defined over here. Next, profile, and z is equals to z plus 1. The value of z is going to get incremented by 1. The types of variables should be different. The names of variables that I've used for this and this are different. You also have to make sure about this thing, that if you're defining two next buttons or two previous buttons on the same window, then the variable that which you're using should be different. Okay, similarly I have defined similarly I've defined the code for the previous profile also. So this is what is going to happen when the user will hit this previous profile button. The value of z is going to get decremented by 1, and accordingly the profile of the user will be visible to us. Okay, and similarly the records are going to get read from that cards table based on the email which is getting reflected over here. Fine, so that we can see the changes in the images also. So this is the whole code that I've defined for this page. Now let's so image 14, then image 18. This is image 18. Fine. So if suppose the user will click on this, automatically he is going to get redirected on screen 13. Okay, and now let's come on the chatting part. So there is an option called chat over here. So when the user will click on this, he will get redirected on this screen 15. This is screen 15. So this is where the users just a second. Whoever the user wants to chat with, if suppose some advertisement is getting reflected over here, and the person who's working on this portal wants to purchase that particular product, so he can talk to this person who has published this product over here by using this chat option. So when the person will click on this chat option, automatically the information of this person who has placed the ad is going to get pulled up through this code. Okay, this is a code that I've defined over here for pulling up the information of the person who has published the app. So here the person can talk to that person who has published the app. So there are two buttons over here. One is the send button and the other one is the receive button. When the person will hit this send button, this is what is going to happen. So this is message box. Okay, ID of this one is message. So whatever the user has written in the message box, it is going to get reflected in the chat box here, and a table is going to get created with this name, receiver mail plus receiver. Okay, this is the component with ID receiver mail, and this is what the table is going to look like. Let me just show you the table. This is the table which will get created. So inside this table, the sender's name, sender's email, message, receiver's name, receiver email, all these 5 information will get stored. Fine. So this is the whole code that I've defined for creating this table, and the message box will go empty. Nothing will be visible to us here. Similarly, if suppose the receiver wants to receive the message, so what he can do, suppose he is on this page, not this page. Yeah, suppose he is on this page, so he can click on this image to button, and automatically he is going to get redirected on this button, this page. Now he has to come on this account, he has to hit this account button, and what is going to happen, he is going to get redirected on this screen 6. Now here we have got an option called chats. So when the person will hit this chats option, the receiver, I'm talking about the receiver, okay, the one who has published the app, the advertisement. So when the user will hit this chats button, this is a code which is going to get executed. He is going to get redirected on screen 16, and all the information of the person who has sent him the message is going to get pulled up with this code that I've defined over here. So this is a table from which the information is going to get pulled up, and it is going to get reflected over here in these two components. Now for receiving the message, this is a button. So the receiver has to hit this button, and this is a code which is going to get executed. This is the table from which the records are going to get pulled up. This is the same code which we have made use of for creating WhatsApp part 1. So if you guys want, you guys can check out that lecture of mine. Let me just show you the whole code that I've defined over here. Fine. And the receiver will be able to see the message over here in this message box. Now once he is done with receiving the message, he can send the message to using the send button. So after typing the message here, he needs to click on the send button, and this is what is going to happen. Automatically a table with this name is going to get created, and inside the table all the information is going to get saved. Fine. And finally, for receiving the message, the user has to hit this receive button which is on screen 15, and he will be able to receive this message through this code that I have defined over here. Okay, so this is the whole code. Hope you enjoyed the lecture. Please do like and subscribe to my channel, and also please share the videos as much as possible in all the groups, whatever you are part of. Thank you very much, and God bless you all with a great future. Bye bye everyone.